To the naysayers. First, nay is what horses say, or as my father called them, hosses. I want to address these people because when I moved back to Boston from San Diego, I encountered a lot of naysayers. People who told me, well, that's not how it's done. And when I asked them why, they said because we've always done it the way we have. A real non-answer. Well, does your way work better? Have you tried what I'm suggesting and did it fail? Just saying because that's the way we've always done it made me ask, well, then why was I hired? Why isn't this show wildly successful, or at least in the top 5? Why didn't they just keep the last guy, or hire from within? Maybe because they knew deep down they needed an outside view. And a year later, when I helped that show hit #1, it amazed me when people wanted to return to what they had done before. Creatures of comfort can be deadly. But these people also bragged about never taking a sick day and talked about how they'd come in with a wicked high fever, wicked sick, but got the job done. Not sure if they thought that would impress me. I always felt like they had been brainwashed by a corporation who cares little for the well-being of their company. My response to them was always, well, that's wildly reckless. And the funny part to me was if these folks had been hospitalized, especially at work, they didn't even have health care through the company. The company would have rolled them outside and called in the next part-timer. Now, ultimately, that Boston show hated any new challenge so much that it brought back the guy who I had originally replaced. He was just recently fired, and the show is continually suffering in the ratings. But that's the price they're willing to pay to avoid any changes, including changing the abusive way the people that were higher up, the bosses, treated the people who helped them run the show. So, to the "this is the best we've got"ers, I say America is desperate for thought leaders. To those who sell themselves into complacency by the hour without health care. We need imagination revolutionaries and creativity entrepreneurs endowed with compassion. Enough with the businesses. Carbon footprints are stomping out our planet. Don't believe me? Why do you think all the billionaires are trying to go to space and inhabit Mars? Jeff Bezos wants to create a space hotel. They know this water sphere is on borrowed time. We need brave souls. People like the man who believed in a frog that could sing and play the banjo, and a pig that loves him. We need the courage of Abby Hoffman. Do you think Abby went to DC thinking the yippies were not gonna levitate the Pentagon? What kind of generation will you inspire when you say, America's the best there is, knowing full well a better America can be done, and will be done, on earth as it is in heaven? Give us this day when God's children aren't going hungry. The best isn't hungry children and excess food being thrown away. The best isn't being imprisoned for a plant in one state, but being a medical patient in another. Cuckoo, cuckoo. Who will lead us to have insight into our imagination? Our phones are a wicked complex computer system and they have updates regularly. How are we not working to update the systemic problems of our government? We should at least be at Democracy 2.0 by now. We aren't. Any government that doesn't make voting day a national day off doesn't prioritize its citizens voting. And any company that doesn't give part-timers health care doesn't care for their workers' health. Look at the two-team system our government and its business sponsors fend for. No sports league has just 2 teams. How is a political system supposed to represent such a dynamic us with only 2 teams? We've become a government of Super Bowls with the same 2 teams every year. And that system is mentally abusing its sons and daughters, forcing them to snugly force-fit themselves into the staunch beliefs of one of 2 teams. We need the visionaries, the ones who think up simple ideas like a man bitten by a radioactive spider only to become the biggest box office hit of the pandemic. We need our Renaissance men and women, the ones who will usher in a new dawn of democracy, the ones who don't fear reinventing the wheel, the ones who saw the British office and said, we can do that in America. I urge you, my fellow Americans, take off your thinking caps and toss them into the imaginary rubbish. Now, keep imagining. We must unlock the doors of perception and throw away the key. Come on, baby, light a fire. We're riders on a brainstorm. We must euthanize the sterility of ancient systems and bring America online 2.0. It's been a long farewell, but we must now give an Irish goodbye to our seasonal oppression. Calling all daydreamers, those who dare to be greater, or double dog dare to be greater. And to the agitators, keeping freedom within reach, we salute you, and salute your shorts. Thanks for listening to the Boston Rob Show. I'm Rob. If you support the cause, make sure you hit subscribe and share this with a friend.